You really can't even manifest here on this dimension that I'll go ahead and call 3D for now, but it's shifting for some of us into 4D and even 5D for some people, and even 6 actually for some, going into actually even a 7D for some even. But past all of that, you can't really get into these different dimensions and move into this life until we master these different levels. See, like everybody that was born here, we were all born into a debt. You wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be watching this. You wouldn't be able to even manifest anything in this reality had you not have been born into a debt. And the debt is not the fact that you received something and you didn't pay it back. That's not the debt. See, the debt is the fact that when you came here with a certain predetermined agenda, and if you get to a point where you're not experiencing that or manifesting that on this plane, it turns into a debt. And every time you come back and every time you decide to you incarnate back into more bullshit, like as far as dealing with the contract and the debt. So it's very interesting, like even your name, like right now, like the name Imhotep, yeah, I use that name online and stuff like that, but people don't realize I actually have paperwork contracts on and offline proving that I own the name or I have ownership in the name Imhotep. I'm serious about this type of shit. So like I'm not gonna like for instance, like I'm not gonna be born with the name and somebody else has that name and I can't prove that I have any credit with that name or any what I would call any type of I or insurance with that name. So I have to go like I take every title that I put on me serious. So I have to go out and prove, how much interest do I have in the name of Hotep using this name online? Like, what am I really producing with this name? This is debt. This is the type of debt that I'm talking about. Like, for instance, like if your name was Peter, yeah, there's many Peters. What type of stake do you have in the name Peter? Did you know that using that name and carrying debt in that name could cause another person with that name to have a hard life? See, you were born into a tree. It's called the Kabbalah or the Tree of Life, and you were born into this tree. It's called different things in different lists, called the Metu Neter in some cultures. I mean, there's many different. Some people in the Hindu culture, it's locked into the Kundalini, but you are born into this tree or this gate. And you have an obligation within this tree and this gate to free up every last debt or tie that you have with everything that you received when you came here. You received certain things, and that's the debt. You wouldn't be here if you didn't. You received your name. Somebody gave it to you. You have to prove that. If you can't prove that, then really everything that you're talking about is kind of like mumbo jumbo. If you can't prove any type of iron insurance in this day and time, because if we can't move forward in this day and time, the way shit is, we can't really move forward unless we get totally out of debt. And what I'm talking about is spiritual debt, dealing with the number 4. See, like the pyramids, like what is this shit really worth? You got to ask yourself, like the pyramids, for instance. Pyramids, yeah, have we really appraised them? What are they really worth? How much, insurance is being generated from it every day? Like, for instance, with the name Imhotep, I had to go and this is going to be on a higher level. People may not understand this, but I had to pay what's called like 18I for the name Imhotep because it has a lot of stake in it actually within the medical industry and all of that. So I had to pay like a bloody price for that, man, to be honest with you. Like 18I just to use that name. And then I was given the name Maurice at birth, which later on I found out was tied into a bunch of stuff and with the Catholic Church and some history going back into the Council of Nicaea. So that's what I'm in the process right now. What I'm talking about vising my past life, I'm in a process of vising these two names, and that's why I started this channel. And it's a struggle, but I'm going to continue to keep doing it. But I'm just saying, like, what is this stuff really worth? Like once you secure it, and that's what I'm doing here and trying to demonstrate and show people, like, what is it going to manifest and turn into once we clean up this debt with the conscious community, or you know what I'm saying, like with the metaphysical aspect of it. I mean, because you got the music sector, the media, and all of that. You know what I'm saying? But then you got the conscious sector or the metaphysical sector, and that's what I'm here to represent. But the thing is that in the conscious and the metaphysical sector, this is the sector where we all want to get out of our financial responsibility and looking at things from a perspective of things, even the concept of things, and turning things or transfiguring things and transmuting things into experiences or into even people or even situations. And we don't want to do that and manifest better things for ourselves and better scenarios for ourselves here in the metaphysical community, because we start to study this stuff and we find out that this whole thing that we was born into is a lie. So we waste more time talking about that when you still got a responsibility to put back and to pay back into this tree. And it's like, if you don't pay back and put back into this tree over time, you're going to accumulate a debt from your past life that's going to carry over into this life. And then this is when you start to manifest disease, and things of that nature. Is because of the debt that we all owe here, like manifested on this plane. So like, yeah, like I had to like pay like 18 I to use that name of Hotep. And then now I'm responsible up under a contract to manifest. And when I get into the number 9, we're going to talk about that more. But I'm responsible to manifest a certain amount of money with this name. But I'm happy. I'm gonna talk about this on a new episode because I've won a lot of money from that Super Bowl. So a lot of credit. I'm just gonna keep it real with you guys. Won a lot of credit. So I'm still happy to be able to be online and things of that nature. But I'm gonna have to use all of that credit to kind of like move into really demonstrating and showing you guys what the path and the walk of Imhotep is about, and what the ushering in and the bringing in of the age of Aquarius, even like what's that really even about. Like, some people still feel like, are we in Pisces or we're in Aquarius? And the thing is that until you buy into a certain levels, that's what I'm saying, like you can't see any of this. Like, this stuff that I'm talking about is mumbo jumbo. You can't see it, and that's why a lot of people can't have a hard time embracing it, because you're stuck in a certain level of economics and experience. You have to pay dues to get into certain realms or certain gates. It's like walking gates or certain levels of this reality that I'm speaking about. So like, I could give you information. What I'm saying here in layman terms is that I could give you some knowledge or give you some jewels and teach you how to do X, Y, and Z, but then it's like you can't see it, meaning that you won't be able to really receive or benefit from it because of the fact that you may be stuck in the past, or your level, or where you're at is on a level, or even a time zone, even somewhere in the past. Like, you may be in 99, you may still be in 1999, like we in 2021. Some people may be in year 3000 even. That's going into another level. We'll talk about that as we proceed. So you can't see it because of the debt. Healing your root chakra. Got to heal your root chakra. That's going into the number 4. See, this creates debt. You know what I'm saying? When we don't eat healthy, myself as well, when we don't eat healthy and do certain things, this creates debt. When we don't have experiences with disease, actually, and we feel like, well, I live a clean life, I don't get sick. That's a debt. What if you're put into a situation where you can't live in this clean environment? You get sick. Can you overcome it and live through it? You see, so like, until you challenge yourself on so many levels, see what I'm saying? Like, you can't really start to understand levels on higher levels, 8 and 9 and 10, when we start talking about going into the age of Aquarius, until you master certain debts. So Aquarius is going to like actually level 30, going up into the 30s, and we'll talk about that as we move forward. So just letting you guys know everything is good. I'm all right. Just want to, really just drop some knowledge in the morning and keep positive information and energy going without this negative bull crap that's out there right now, because it's easy to get that and it's hard to find this. So we got to keep this light out there. So as always, help us out. The donations, we all have been getting help, and we thank you to keep this going, because we definitely need that. Finance, man, it takes finance to really prove this. It's interesting, man. So help us with that, and I'm gonna come back up with you, soon. And we're gonna start moving into the number 5, so I can get into this Aquarius information. As time goes on, we'll move into this number 5. We're gonna talk about this Super Bowl and what this means metaphysically and all of that. So that'll be number 5 information. So thank you for listening and watching. As always, stay vigilant. Hotep.